there, how are you? This is Loise. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe. Yes. If you're returning, thank you so much for your continuous support. I really appreciate that. Okay. So today I want to talk, I want to answer a question that I've seen asked a lot, like why do people go to Canada? And I know there's always that backlash, especially in Kenya. I see there's a big backlash to people who leave home. Unfortunately, I cannot help with that, and that's not why I'm doing this video. But why do people come to Canada? You have seen, the statistics, you have seen the surveys whereby, Canada has been ranked maybe third, fourth best country to live in. And I believe people go to various countries which are equally good. Australia is wonderful, New Zealand is wonderful, and those countries do accept immigrants. Other people go to Europe where life is good as well, and others go to the United States. But why do people necessarily come to Canada? You're going to find that there's a broad spectrum of people who come to Canada. It's not just people from poor countries, third world countries. It's everybody. Canada is full of people from all over the world. And you find that most people leave their countries for economic and political stability. Others are for economic opportunities. The rest are looking for future education and career opportunities for their children. Others are looking for human rights and justices. The others are looking for democracy. And again, this is a very clean environment. So if you're looking for a place that doesn't have pollution, this is the place to come. So you find that, as I said, a lot of people who come here, especially in the economic classes, are from the top tier. That is, they are elites of where they come from. And I tell people don't come here for riches. No. When I was growing up, when I still used to think like some people that money grows on trees abroad, we used to think that people go abroad for riches. Maybe there are people who go abroad for riches, but the reasons that I just talked about up there are the same reasons that brought us here. And you find that as you grow older, you get values and you get things that you're more interested in, or things which are really pissing you off where you are, and those are the things that make you immigrate. So you find that especially I say that a lot of people who come here, especially in the economic classes, they are from the top tier of the society, believe it or not. Because when you look at things like express entry, they want people who are highly skilled, people who are already working, good jobs, skilled jobs. So you find that it attracts a lot of people who are elites abroad there. Also attract a lot of rich people, believe you me. There's a lot of people who are very rich, stinking rich, millionaires, and they come here, especially from Asia and other countries. People come here, and I think the reason most rich people come here is when you come here as a permanent resident, with time, you can become a citizen. In most cases. So people come here in search of that Canadian passport, because the moment you become a citizen, then you get that Canadian passport. Guess what? The Canadian passport is one of the most powerful passports in the world. With that passport, assume you're from Asia somewhere, or you're from Kenya, with that passport, the world is going to be your oyster. Yes, you will move, you will go, it's up to you to go wherever you want. So with a Canadian passport plus money, you can go almost to every country without a visa. There are some countries that do require visas, like Pakistan. I don't know why, they have their reasons, but for the majority, you are not going to need a visa to a lot of countries. If you're from Kenya, you know that in Kenya, if you're not the top few people in the government, even if you're rich, you have to prove so much to get any visa, unless you want to go to Dubai, or another African country. You have to prove. At times I tell people, it's like you have to leave your lungs, and your kidney to prove that you're gonna go back to them. So that really makes it hard for someone who wants to vacation, who wants to travel and see the world. So you find that those are some of the reasons that people move and come to Canada. We have to appreciate the fact that the stability offered in this country, the peace that people come here to enjoy, it came through hard work. And that is the hard work of people who worked hard, they protected this country, they grew the economy. So everybody coming here needs to respect that you are standing on the shoulders of giants. And that is people who worked really hard. We cannot leave that unappreciated. A lot of us are living bad governments, whereby the taxpayers' money is not appreciated, is not accounted for, and therefore there's a lot of benefits of coming to Canada. So these are among the million reasons why people come here. And I mean that is for people who are good taxpayers. Because when you're a good taxpayer, wherever you are, you want to see where your taxes go. You want when your taxes work for you. So in Canada, if you're a good taxpayer, and these are benefits that are enjoyed by everybody, the taxes here really work for Canadians. So you find that security, you feel safe everywhere you go. You feel safe. You don't have to look behind your shoulder. You don't have to worry about, your house. We don't have fences here, doors, there's no reinforcement. When I came in Kenya, we used to lock our house like we locked gold in that house. Actually, our homes were unsafe in case of a fire because we had to reinforce simply because of insecurity. So that is one of the reasons that people come here. You want to enjoy good security. You don't have to hire guards to guard your property or your home. Actually, here we do not have policemen walking with guns, outside buildings. So that is always a good thing. You feel peaceful, So you come here again for peace of mind, that you can sleep peacefully without having to worry that there's going to be a burglar who comes to steal your phone, right? So that kind of stuff. Another thing that is necessitated by good taxpayers' money, again, I'm insisting that all this is due to the taxes that people pay here. So it's education. There's good quality education, and education is free for elementary and high school. So that is free across the board. And when you become a permanent resident or a US citizen, then you're not going to pay hefty prices even for post-secondary education. You all know that if you're planning to send your children to Canada to study, as an international student, it can get so costly. Yes, believe you me. Some programs, actually people coming here for masters, you can get some programs that cost up to $70,000, okay? Or $80,000. So it's a benefit if then you can be here, you become a permanent resident, and you're looking into the future of your children, they are going to get better rates. It could still be expensive for post-secondary education, but then again, you're paying local rates which are not so bad. Then healthcare. The biggest thing is healthcare. Most of Canada enjoys the universal healthcare. And what that means, you cannot afford not to go do your annual checks because you don't have money. You cannot fall sick and, say that you cannot go see a doctor because you do not have money or you don't have insurance. No, healthcare is universal. Whether you're giving birth, you walk into a hospital, you give birth, you have cesarean, you have whatever, and you walk home with your child. And some places you have nurses calling you to follow up. They may even come see you at home. So, it's that healthcare. It's so relieving when you know that you're not worried about healthcare. The other thing I talked about peace, and some of the reasons actually when you get peace is that there's low crime here. Low crime across Canada. You don't have to worry about guns, shootings. You don't have to worry about all that. So that kind of gives you a lot of peace. And the police here are so approachable and they do a good job, especially in Calgary. We have the Calgary police. They are some of the best people that are my favorites here. One good thing about this place, maternity leave. Oh my goodness, how can I emphasize that? When you get a child, you get maternity leave, paternity leave, and parental leave. And that leave that you take to bond with your child, you can take leave up to 18 months. Paid leave. You may not get the full pay, but majority of the people get over 60% pay during your maternity leave. Some companies, they do top up for you, so the government pays you 60% of your pay during your maternity, and some companies do top up the balance, so you may still end up getting like a full pay during your maternity leave. So that is something that is always good. You can take care of your loved ones, your tiny baby, you bond, you get to know them, and you spend good time before they start going to daycare. Again, for the elderly, this country has very good pension system. So if you've worked here for a long time and you've been contributing and you qualify for pension, you are going to be enjoying some good pension in your sunset years. There's something wonderful called employment insurance. And I said this is important. When you're working here, you get deducted for employment insurance. And what this insurance does is that should you lose your job, because things do happen. Should you lose your job, the government pays you employment insurance, mostly about 60% of your pay. And that makes sure then that you're not becoming hopeless. You always have that safety net. You can fall onto that safety net and then you don't become homeless while you're looking for your next job. So that is really, really wonderful. As you can see, all these are catered for by taxpayers' money. Then if things get so bad, there are shelters here. This country has shelters that take care of the homeless people, because people get challenged by many things. Could be addictions, could be abuse. There's a lot of things. There's domestic violence. There is shelters here that make sure that people are not sleeping out in the cold, and even if you are there, they're going to work very hard to make sure that you're not sleeping on the streets, especially in the cold winters. One other thing I really love is that the facilities for the elderly and the disabled. There is so many facilities here that take care of. This is a country that takes care of its old people. And not just that, it takes pride in the people who are facing various disabilities or development challenges. So you're going to find even buses, we have kneeling buses that come all the way down. They are easily accessible for wheelchairs everywhere. Whether it's a train station, they are easily accessible by wheelchairs. And you find that especially people with disabilities, there are some resources that even do door-to-door pickup for these people, and they take wonderful care for these people who are really vulnerable. Overall, I think Canada, as I said, you don't come here for riches, but it's good if you make money. Of course, there's that Canadian dream. So if you make good money, that's good for you. But then we have a very comfortable standard, a very good standard of life. So we have reasonable salaries, and generally life is not bad. Because as you see, there is very good use of the taxes here. Another reason that you may want to come to Canada, beauty. This place is such a beautiful country. As I have said before, Canada is a vast country by land. So from east coast to west coast, this place is beautiful. You're going to find wilderness, Rocky Mountains, all the lakes. There's so much beauty in this place. Northern lights, there's everything. So if you're the adventurous type, you want to explore, this is a place. You want to come see bears, polar bears, this is the place. If you like winter, because again, I've said before, don't come here for the weather, but the winters here can be so lively, can be so enjoyable. So if you're into winter sports, winter activities, you want to do anything, skiing, skating, dog sledding, whatever you want to do, this is the country for you. So that is all. That is what I had prepared today about the things that actually attract people to this place. So I hope to see you at my next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye now.